So the number one question I get asked is, what Cricut machine should I get? And I think it's hilarious that you guys ask somebody who literally has one of each. But then again, it might be really smart because I can tell you the pros and cons of each one. First one I'm going to start with is the Cricut Joy. So this is a Cricut Joy. It's the mini machine. I bought this so that I can do quick, easy projects. I made a couple of shirts with it because it can cut vinyl, it can cut paper, it can cut the smart vinyl without a mat, but if you have regular vinyl, they do sell little mats to go on this. The limitations on this is that the biggest that you can cut is up to 20 feet on the smart vinyl. That's the one without the mat. But with a mat, the max you can do is 12 inches by 4.5 inches. So if you have any projects that could fit that, you can definitely use this one. You can put a pen in, or you can use the blade, and they actually made the foil part as well. So if you want to make little cards, they also sell a mat that can help you make cards, and you can put the foil attachment to do that on the cards. So this one, quick, easy, small projects. I mostly use it when I have to do something from my phone. Next level up from that one would be the Cricut Explore Air 2, which is the one that I have right here. This one is a little bit more powerful, obviously a lot more powerful actually than the Joy, because you can cut more materials. You can cut a little over 100 different materials, unlike the Joy that can't do anything more really than the vinyl and other Cricut official material because of the sheer size of it. This one, you can cut vinyl, you can cut other thicker materials because it's stronger. Now, one thing I will say is that although Cricut doesn't advertise it, you can cut thicker materials on this as well. It's just going to take you a lot longer because you're gonna have to do multiple cuts to cut it through. But I have cut acrylic on this machine and it does work. But unlike the Maker, you're gonna have to go through it like 6 or 7 times twice. So you're cutting 14 layers of things to get through the thicker materials. So if you want to do wider materials, same thing like t-shirts like the Joy, but you need it a little bit larger, this can cut up to 11.5 inches wide and 2 feet long. So this one, if you need anything bigger than the Joy, this is the route to take if you want to do serious crafting, but still not professional level crafting. Last but not least is the Cricut Maker. This one is the Cricut Maker. And I love this machine. The main difference between the Explore and the Maker is that you have other blades that you can use on this. This one will only, the Cricut Explore Air 2, will only allow you to use these regular blade attachments. So you can use the bonded fabric attachment, you can use the regular fine point blade attachment, you can use the deep point blade attachment. Anything that you can put on the Maker with this one, you can do on the Cricut Explore Air 2. Now, the main difference, and the reason I bought this one, is because you can use the rotary blade attachment, which is what I use a lot for cutting the fabrics. This is the best blade ever, and it's because it has the Cricut housing, which is what the Explore Air 2 does not have, is this housing. You can use that. Now, instead of having to cut something 1,000,001 times to get that deep cut, you can also use the knife blade. So this is just like an X-Acto knife, and you can cut a lot thicker materials just going through one time on this. Now, if you're gonna do a thicker acrylic, again, although Cricut says that there is a max amount of cutting force that it has, if you go multiple rounds, it will allow you to cut those thicker materials. But they don't advertise that because they don't want the machines to be used that way. But it is a very powerful machine, and it does cut through various materials. But that is the main difference, is that the Cricut Maker has these pieces that allow you more than just the fine point blade attachment, and this one you have the rotating thing that can send it in different directions. The downside to both of these machines is that they do not do matless cutting. So being the obsessive person that I am, I went ahead and bought the Cricut Maker 3. Now, the main difference between the Cricut Original Maker and the Cricut Maker 3 is very simple. You can cut up to 12.5 inches on this one as opposed to the 11.5 inches on the original Maker. And you can do matless cutting with the smart vinyl. Versus these machines, you cannot cut matless. You have to do with the mat. There are videos that talk about matless cutting, but I don't recommend it personally in the crafting that I do. If you want to try it, more power to you. I just went ahead and got the appropriate machine for that matless cutting. And it is faster. But if speed isn't a factor for you and you're not making multiple shirts, these two machines cut just fine. The Cricut Joy also cuts just fine for people who are making simple little things. So it's up to you to decide if you're going to be a pro level crafter making tons of shirts or tons of vinyl products and you're going to be selling that, you're going to want this one for the speed. If speed isn't a factor, and you still want to cut tons of material, you have this one. And then if speed isn't a factor and you're not going to be cutting things like fabric or super thick material like acrylic or chipboard, then you're fine with this one. Which again, if you do need to cut chipboard or anything thicker on occasion, you can rig it so that you can do it on this Cricut Explore Air too. Hope this helps.